Hatch is a well-known hooligan throughout the area who loves motorcycle racing, hanging out with friends, and dangerous entertainment. True, one of them may end in a prison term. Hatch severely beat a man, and if the court decides to punish the guy to the fullest extent, he will have to go to jail for 18 months. Fortunately, Hatch's father and brother help the young man avoid imprisonment and get by with a fine. However, if he breaks the law again, the verdict will be more severe. Hatch rides home on a motorcycle, winding through city cars. He talks about something that clicks and changes a person's life. For a guy, it is a meeting with a girl from a good family who looks out of the car window. The mischievous Hatch calls her rudely, but the girl does not remain in debt and shows the middle finger. The girl's name is Bobby. Her only crime is hinting answers on a test in secret from the teacher. Bobby is sweet, friendly, and communicates only in good company. Together with Hatch, they represent two different poles. However, fate decrees otherwise. In the evening, Bobby goes to a party at the house of friends, where a crowd of exuberant friends of Hatch suddenly bursts in. His comrade Polo does not waste time rummaging through the guests' bags. His girlfriend Bobby, Katina, finds him doing this. Strangely, this does not scare off a frivolous girl. On the contrary, hesitating, she agrees to go on a date with Polo. Meanwhile, Hatch sees Bobby, whom he noticed in the morning. He begins to flirt with her. Rough harassment infuriates the girl, and Bobby imprudently splashes the juice in the face of the bold. However, Hatch will not tolerate this. He quickly puts the girl on his shoulder, takes her out of the house, and throws her into the pool, despite desperate cries that this dress is from Valentino and should not be treated like that. The guy does all this not from evil. He enjoys their little skirmish, and Bobby is more annoyed and shocked than scared. However, she will still have to be scared tonight. On the way home, where an old friend gives Bobby a ride, their car is attacked by a gang of bikers. Glass breaks, screams are heard, and one of the motorcyclists is knocked to the ground. Breaking away from the chase, the guy stops the car, but he is immediately attacked by Hatch, who demands an apology for ruining the evening. Bobby has the opportunity to escape. The vehicle stopped on the highway is ready to pick her up, but the girl bravely throws herself on the bully's back and grabs his hair, demanding to let the enemy go. It's a pity that Bobby's friend cannot appreciate her heroism. Feeling free, he immediately jumps into his wrecked car and runs away, leaving the girl alone on the highway. Bewildered, Bobby has no choice but to ask Hatch to take her home on a motorcycle. The next day, Katina happily looks forward to a date with Polo, which Bobby disapproves of. Hatch, who drove up to the school with a friend, was even more unpleasant to her. But the arguments against the date do not work for Katina. She is in love and sees no problem in that Polo will treat the girl with money stolen from her. In the evening, Hatch has dinner with his father. The atmosphere at the table is cold, and conversations are conducted in short sentences. In passing, the father mentions that Hatch's mother is with a friend, and suddenly the guy reacts painfully to this information. He goes up to his room and remembers with what pleasure he taught lessons here, and his mother came to him, joked, and laughed. It becomes clear that some kind of tragedy occurred in Hatch's life, after which he abandoned his studies, began to get into trouble, and moved to live with his older brother, a responsible office worker. The guy whose car Hatch and his friends crashed on the day of the party sues him and claims that Bobby knows the attacker. The girl's parents are horrified by what they heard. They demand to give the bandit's name to the police immediately. Bobby calls him, although this threatens her with trouble. However, the whole situation irritates the girl so much that she ceases to be afraid, and, having met Hatch at night races of bikers, she confesses everything to him. Polo is furious, but Hatch himself is unimpressed. Laughing, he tells Bobby that the girl will retract her testimony because she will fall in love with him. Self-confidence, danger, and charisma emanate from a guy doing their job. Bobby begins to take an interest in the cocky young man, even agreeing to sit on the back of a motorcycle to race at night. What was meant to be fun almost ends in tragedy when one of the biker's girlfriends is injured in an accident, and the rest must go on the run from the police. Bobby is both scary and fun. She helps Hatch escape by covering the number of his motorcycle and hiding in the bushes from the police. Unfortunately, the girl does not notice a pile of manure in the dark, so she gets out on the road dirty and smelly. A laughing Hatch says he won't put her on his motorcycle with her clothes on, but agrees to give the girl his jacket and turn away while she undresses. The fact that everything that happens is evident in the rearview mirror, and Bobby learns it only at the end of the adventure. Hatch drops the girl off at the gate of her house and kisses her tenderly, but again, she cannot help teasing, for which she receives a slap. Bobby does not know what feelings prevail in her, attraction to the rebel or anger at him. However, the next day, when the girl finds on her ceiling a photo cut out of a newspaper that journalists took at the races at night. In it, she and Hatch are racing together on a motorcycle along the track. The guy's unusual move and the memory of the adventure together appeal to the girl. In the evening, Hatch sees Bobby dancing in a club. The girl is passionate about her occupation, gives herself all over to the music, and looks so attractive that the guy cannot resist. He approaches and joins Bobby, who doesn't mind at all. It is not surprising that the dance ends with gentle and deep kisses. However, the trials for Hatch and Bobby are just beginning. The girl's parents disapprove of their daughter's hobbies and put her under house arrest. She manages to see Hatch only after skipping school. Young people are going to ride around the city on a motorcycle when the guy suddenly sees his mother with her lover in the car window. Instantly enraged, he drives the bike forward at great speed, ignoring the frightened cries of his girlfriend and remembering how he found his mother cheating on his father with another man. It was this man that Hatch beat, almost going to jail. The guy calms down a little, only being on the seashore. There, he and Bobby walk along the surf, and Hatch tells her about everything that happened to him. Even the father does not know this secret. The girl is the only one with whom the guy shares. For the rest of the day, they walk along the shore, fly a kite and chat about trifles, and Bobby points to a house standing nearby and says that she once dreamed of living in it. Hoping to distract her daughter from an objectionable suitor, the mother brings Gustavo's new neighbor to meet Bobby. She cancels the house arrest, offering the girl to take a walk with a promising guy. But Bobby uses this opportunity to slip away to the biker party again. One of Hatch's former girlfriends tries to provoke a modest girl into a conflict, but she shows an unexpected side and fiercely fights with her rival. Bobby is ready to stand up for herself and her love. Hoping to hide truancy at school, Bobby forges her mother's signature, but her deception is exposed. Parents will have to shell out a considerable amount to hush up the scandal and leave their daughter in a prestigious educational institution. The punished Bobby again yearns in her room alone, but this time Hatch does not intend to look at it from the side. He sneaks into Bobby's house and takes the girl with him to the pool, where Katina and Polo are already having fun. At the same time, Hatch wins Bobby's father's trust by telling the man how much he appreciates his daughter and threatens the teacher, who has revealed the deceit, with problems if she does not leave the girl alone. To make sure to silence the woman, Hatch kidnaps her dog Pepito, to which Polo quickly becomes attached. Hatch wants to surprise Bobby. He blindfolds the girl and takes her on a motorcycle to the beach. He leads her to the house she dreamed of as a child. Desolation reigns here, but from the second floor, there is a beautiful ocean view. Bobby is delighted. Young people begin to kiss and spend the night together. When they were lying under the stars on the balcony, Bobby said that she loved Hatch as much as from here to the sky, to which the guy replied that he loved her 3 meters above heaven. While he sleeps in the morning, Bobby wanders along the seashore. She is delighted. The girl's mother is still angry with her behavior, so she deprives her daughter of pocket money, which forces Bobby to hire a nanny. One day, when she sits with another child, Polo and Hatch come to Bobby's house. The lovers retire upstairs, but soon the noise forces them down to the kitchen. It turns out that Polo called his friends, who are now having fun in the house, without permission. Bobby becomes furious and kicks everyone out, including Hatch, who was unaware of the friend's idea. Trying to regain the favor of his beloved, Hatch makes graffiti on the bridge, which she sees on the way to school, and persuades Katina and Polo to help him prepare a romantic dinner. Everything seems to work, but Bobby doesn't come. And when Hatch calls her, he dryly explains that after his friend's visit, her mother lost an expensive ring and asked her to leave her alone. However, the girl's anger immediately cools as soon as Hatch finds the culprit and returns the loss. The girl lets the guy into her room and treats the abrasions he received during the fight. A trial takes place during which Bobby refuses to testify against Hatch. She staunchly defends the guy in front of her mother but warns him they will part if Hatch does not change. Bobby does well in her exams, after which Hatch returns Pepito to her mistress. The unsuspecting girl goes to thank the teacher and sees the fright in the woman's eyes and the dog she thought was Polo's. She understands everything, goes to Hatch, and says she will take a break in their relationship. But feelings again take precedence over the cold arguments of reason. As soon as Hatch appears at the girl's birthday party, Bobby is left with all sorts of doubts. She enjoys the dance and the closeness of a loved one. She does not even suspect that Katina and Polo, racing, have an accident. The girlfriend is alive, though wounded, and Polo is dead. What happened makes a heavy impression on Hatch and Bobby. The guy, in anger, beats the broken motorcycle and screams in pain of loss. The girl blames Hatch for the death of Polo and reproaches that no one is important to him, neither friend, not family, not Bobby. Losing control of himself, the guy slaps his girlfriend, and Bobby runs away into the night, sobbing in despair. The girl still loves Hatch, but she understands that everything is over between them. Time passes. Before Christmas, Katina comes to Hatch to give a photo where the guy is captured with Polo and asks if he talked to Bobby because she does not see Katina now. She has a new company, a new life, and a new boyfriend. Soon Hatch himself sees Bobby in the car with a new boyfriend. Returning with his brother to the beach, where he was happy with Bobby, Hatch says he will leave for London to work. He understands that he cannot return what he once experienced. The love given to him comes to a person only once. You can't rise above the heavens again, you can only let go of the past. However, feelings for Bobby live in his soul, and I want to believe such love does not pass without a trace. Maybe one day fate will send them another chance.